And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Hello everyone and welcome to Alaska Weather. I'm meteorologist Peter Chan coming to you from the National Weather Service in Alaska region on this Sunday, July 27th, 2025. And we have a number of things going on across the state and the weather-related headlines. We have an area of high pressure, not just at the surface, but in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere that will hold on across the southeast corner of the Bering Sea into along the southwest coast there of Bristol Bay and Kuskokwim Bays. And as a result, it is going to bring warmer temperatures to areas at the southwest and south central. Still, though, a lot of low cloudiness, low stratus and fog out over the Bering, including the Pribilovs and Aleutians, so not being able to enjoy that sunshine and warmer temperatures. Over the top of the ridge, we have more of a westerly flow that's going to spread moisture across the interior early through the middle part of this week, so showers will become more numerous, especially along and north of the Alaska Range. We continue, especially the Juneau Forecast Office, continues to carefully monitor the Mendenhall Glacier Lake. It fills. It's expected to fill at a rate of 3 to 4 feet per day going up into the week ahead, along with the milder temperatures. Additional little bit of rainfall, but if you recall, the last couple of years we've had major flood events occur in early August as the result of this glacier dam releasing. We don't know exactly when that might happen, but again, it's being very carefully monitored. And then we expect above normal temperatures into early August across much of the state, and a little wetter than normal conditions likely setting up there later this coming week and into early August across the southeast part of the state, including the Panhandle. Now, up there at Nome, low stratus clouds, 49 degrees, rather cool, dreary Sunday there. Dutch Harbor beneath that big high pressure, low stratus and fog, only 52 there. And that's very common when you have a strong area of high pressure. You have a subsidence inversion that's, a few thousand feet above the surface, and it traps a lot of moisture, especially when you have warmer air going over the cooler waters surrounding the Aleutian chain and across the Bering. Now, further inland, we're seeing thunderstorms, showers and thunderstorms developing. Northway cumulonimbus there, shower forming 79, almost 80 degrees, and that area of scattered showers and thunderstorms extends down along the Tanana Valley, north side of the Alaska Range, and then recurves up into the west central Brooks Range and north slope. So that's where the action will be this afternoon and evening. And then down in the southern Panhandle, Craig, that looks like a little bit of a lenticular cloud, but if you notice along the southwest horizon, that is that low pressure system that's in the North Pacific offshore of the Panhandle and Gulf. And we're going to see some moisture return coming up from the south later Monday night and on Tuesday. So you're going to get more showers pushing across the Panhandle then. But at least as of this Sunday afternoon, many areas of the Panhandle enjoying temperatures around or even a bit above 70 degrees. Well, I had trouble sleeping last night, decided to take a look out the window, and I could see some Noctalucent Clouds. This is from the west side of Anchorage at 2:45 a.m. this Sunday morning. This here is a tropospheric cloud. It's probably either a high altocumulus or a cirrocumulus cloud that's somewhere on the order of 25,000 feet, 30,000 feet up, but it's this here. This is the Noctalucent Clouds, and they were along the northern horizon from northeast through north and northwest. This is looking northeastward. These clouds are the highest clouds in the world, 50 miles above the surface in the mesosphere, and they form as the result of water ice crystals being able to use space rocket exhaust and meteor dust to act as condensation nuclei. And this is looking toward the northwest, and you could see very fine ones. Now, there was a display I saw a few weeks earlier on July 5th where they were overhead and beyond. It was a little better, certainly a better display than this, but the Noctalucent Cloud season should continue into early August, potential to see them. And I saw a couple of other people posting some pictures in the middle of the month. So kind of a neat thing to see. It's been pretty spectacular Noctalucent Cloud season viewing across Europe this summer. At this time, no hazardous watch warnings or advisories in effect. We did get a latest update from the Alaska Interagency Coordination Center. These are the meteorologists that deal with fire weather. And there is a trough that's digging into the interior from the northwest, and that's going to bring cool, damp weather from the west into the central interior as we go through Monday and Tuesday. There are some dry fuels, though, in the eastern part of the interior, the Yukon Flats down toward Northway. They will get a bit wetter here, especially as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday, and I'll show you that in just a moment. And we could also see breezes picking up a bit from the west-southwest as we look from the west side of the state into the east. Now, cool and damp conditions, though, the outlook for into the middle of the week is that it's going to knock temperatures down with relative humidities dropping to 30 or 40 cents perhaps by next weekend. But in the meantime, a little reprieve from the fire weather coming up here early and middle part of this week. So fire danger Monday, spruce adjective. This is the largest carrier fire this time of year in the mid-late fire season. We find the Upper Tanana Valley, northern Copper River Basin, even now showing up in the Mat-Su Valley, parts of the northwest Kenai. So these are the areas with high to very high fire danger. But some good news is we are going to see that moisture coming in from the west-northwest. And this is from 4 a.m. this Sunday morning until 4 a.m. Thursday morning, the accumulative rain potential. And I'm not going for specific amounts because it likely will come up a bit shorter than this. It just highlights the terrain areas and things that are more likely to have enhanced precipitation. There's two clear locations. Central Alaska Range within Denali Park, north or south side of the range, up into Fairbanks and east of there. Also up along the south and southeastward facing slopes of the central and eastern Brooks Range is where you could get some better rainfall coming up here. And that would come mainly later Monday and especially Tuesday into Wednesday. So if you're going to be heading up into this region, expect some wet conditions here, especially Tuesday, Wednesday into early Thursday. So on the satellite image, we still have this well-defined low circulation just south of the Gulf in the North Pacific. We have this trough wrapping around it. You can see those clouds as I showed you from looking southwestward from Craig. This cloud shield is going to pull back to the north and northwest as we go into Monday, especially afternoon and night, and bring some more showers across the Panhandle later Monday night into Tuesday. And then we're watching this moisture here that's pushing into the inner west. That's going to interact with some of the terrain and daytime heating to create more numerous showers, still a few thunderstorms possible, but it should be a little cooler and wetter regime coming across the interior as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday. And then here we still have this high pressure ridge out over the lower half of the Bering, Aleutians into the lower Alaska Peninsula. That high is going to come eastward a little bit and just kind of sit over the southeast corner of the Bering through Wednesday. That's going to allow areas here in the interior and up into the Anchorage Bowl and Mat-Su valleys could see temperatures in the 70s coming up here on Monday and Tuesday as the result of that feature. So we still have some more summer weather to go. And tonight, late tonight, this Sunday night into Monday morning, there's the low down in the North Pacific. This trough is going to spin back to the north and west. We still have a bit of a trough pushing that initial, what used to be a weaker front coming inland, is now going to try to push some moisture further east tonight. High pressure still there around the Pribilovs. 1026 high into Monday afternoon, still that high around the Pribilovs at 1026 millibars at the surface, extending into the upper atmosphere. But we have other trough energy in the mid-levels of the atmosphere that will be driving these weak low pressures in front across the northern half of the interior. And that's what's going to also help to squeeze out additional moisture here across the central interior as we go into Tuesday and Wednesday. So by Tuesday afternoon, we have that low still down in the North Pacific, the trough wrapping around it and pulling showers up across the Panhandle. We have kind of two troughs, weakening cold front pushing across the northern half of the state. This is just going to serve to enhance the broader lift and with the moisture available to create some areas of rain or rain showers, maybe a few isolated thunderstorms where you get a little sun or heating ahead of it, like here in the northern part of the Copper Basin or the eastern Alaska Range. And then back to the south, there's another push of mild air coming toward the Aleutians that will likely generate some more low cloudiness and fog and perhaps a little light rain or drizzle. And then that high begins to fold eastward and weaken a bit on Wednesday before this, we have that concentration of showers around the central Alaska Range up toward Fairbanks and along the east-southeastward slopes there of the Brooks Range. So temperatures are going to be mild. Many temperatures are not going to get below 50 across the southern half of the mainland into the Panhandle. Along the Arctic coast, near 40 for lows, so one of the milder nights I've seen here so far this summer. Not quite as warm, still could squeak out 80 at Glen Allen and maybe Northway on Monday afternoon. And if that's the case, that could help generate an isolated thunderstorm. But temperatures, notice they cool the further toward the central western interior. Highs only in the 50s here, beneath more in the way of overcast skies and some light showers. And as we trail out down along the Alaska Peninsula, still could be near 60 at Cold Bay Falls Pass and Dutch Harbor. In the 60s, even 75 there, Juneau on up towards Skagway, so that's going to continue to facilitate snow melt there above Juneau and the Mendenhall Glacier. And then for Tuesday morning, we still have lows 50s across the Panhandle, much of south central, mild pattern. 40s along the Arctic coast, Chukchi coastline, and along all the way down from the Seward Peninsula coast to the lower Yukon coastline. And temperatures on Tuesday not as warm in the interior because of the thicker clouds, areas of rain and rain showers that will be going on in this region. Again, warmest readings will hold out further south and east around Northway and perhaps 74 Glen Ellen, Gulkana. Temperatures in the Panhandle on Tuesday afternoon, mid-60s. A few spots could still be near 70 if you get sun. The last kind of gasp here as that high begins to break down. If you get some sunshine around Bristol Bay, get inland from there. Perhaps lower 70s, Dillingham and King Salmon there on Tuesday afternoon. And certainly these temperatures here in parts of South Central are not warm enough. I think if the Kenai and up around the Anchorage Bowl can get some sun, 70 plus very easily. So here's the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, August 2nd through the 6th. And statewide, with the exception of the southern Panhandle, temperatures are expected to average above normal, with the greatest likelihood here, the lower middle Yukon, Kuskokwim valleys, Seward Peninsula, west central interior. So, warm temperatures expected. Closer to normal here because of cloud cover and rain, occasional rain that'll be happening across the southeast, especially in the Panhandle. And if we look at the precipitation outlook, drier conditions across the northwest half of the mainland as a result of those warmer temperatures and the pattern, the way it's setting up. But here we're going to see an influx of moisture coming in off of the North Pacific and Gulf that could enhance some potential for rain across the Panhandle as we go through the first week then of August.